topic 18.1 entitled Areas of Plane Regions Using Definite Integrals. Consider a continuous function f, kani. Again, pasabot sa continuous, if you can recall, meaning ang function wala tay bangag, wala po tay putol. So, consider this function, kaning curve diri as a continuous function. If the graph of y equals to f of x, again, this is the graph over the interval from a to b, meaning, mamaning a na to, from here to b diri. So, ang atong gina-consider lang na part is kanilang. Kanin diri nga part niya. Meaning from here, padulong diri. Intervals from A to B man. Mga may pasabot niya. So, let's focus daw diha nga part. Again, if the graph of y equals to f of x over the interval from A to B lies entirely above the x-axis. So, kung tanaw ninyo, mamaning x-axis na to. So, ato ang graph naa sa entirely wala, meaning tanan part sa graph naa sa dire ta focus man, di ba? From A to B. From A to B, tanan part sa graph naa siya sa ibabaw sa x-axis. So, pag ingana daw ang condition, then the integral of f of x dx from A to B gives the area of the region bounded by the curves y equals to f of x, the x-axis, and the vertical lines x equals to a and x equals to a and x equals to b. This is illustrated in the figure below. Bottom line ani, if naatay graph, continuous graph, tapos from the interval a to b, then kaning ang integral daw niya, ang kaning pasabot sa integral of f of x dx from A to B is just the area bounded by the region kaning nga curve, x-axis, o kaning mga vertical lines. In short, kaning shaded area diri. Kung maklaro ninyo, gray na siya nga shade. So, mao na pasabot sa definite integral na f of x dx from A to B. So, technically, ang isa sa interpretation sa definite integral is actually the area bounded by the curve, given curve, x-axis, and two vertical lines. So, mo nang geometric interpretation sa definite integral. So, let's have an example application atong nga concept. So, sample 1, find the area of the region bounded by y equals to 3x plus 1, x equals to 1, x equals to 3, and the x-axis. So, if we have this one, if we try to graph this given y equals to 3x plus 1, kanina siya nga graph. Kaning straight line. Kaning solid line kumbaga diri. Then, kaning x equals to 1, kani. X equals to 3, kani po nga vertical line. And the x-axis, kani. So, therefore, since ang atong graph from 1 to 3 lies entirely above the x-axis, then we can use katong definite integral na definition. Because, you can use the definite integral na definition to solve this shaded area bounded by the curve, the two vertical lines, and the x-axis. So again, our definition of the shaded region using the definite integral, that area of the shaded region is equivalent to integral of f of x dx from A to B. Then, ang f of x given na to, kaning 3x plus 1. So we simply substitute f of x with 3x plus 1. And by this one, we can now apply katong previous na to nga mga skills in solving definite integral. So sa kani, pwede ra diretso tag fundamental theorem of calculus. No need na mag-substitution. So using fundamental theorem of calculus, kaning 3x becomes 3x squared over 2. ang kaning 1 becomes x. Integrating 3x plus 1, kani man ang result. Then, we will be evaluating this antiderivative from 1 to 3. Then, continuing the process, we simply substitute 3 first, the upper limit. By virtue of the fundamental theorem of calculus, we will substitute the upper limit. So, 3x squared means mahulog siya o 3x squared. So, that means that is 3 times 3 squared, which is 3 squared is 9. So, 3 times 9, kaya 27. Ang pangutana, nganong na 3. So, I think that's dapat 2 ni siya diri. So, i-correct na lang nato na. So, next, plus, humana si 3, si 1 na pod. So, sorry. Again, una si 3, substitute diya, 3. So, mo nang napoy 3 diya. And the next, after si 1 na pod, substitute dito. So, meaning 3 times 1 squared, that's 3 times 1, which is 3. Kaya, 3 halves man na. And then, tapos, the pod, mo nang 1. So, after is simplifying, we simplify that one, that becomes 14 square units. This must be 2 na diha. Nanong na 14? Si 27 halves minus 3 halves. So 27 minus 3, that's 24 halves, which is 12. Tapos 3 minus 1, that is 2. So plus 2, so 14 plus 2, motong na 14. 12 plus 2, motong na 14. Since wala tayo given units, we can simply use the square units na words, kumbaga nga phrase. So therefore, ang area, kaning area, kaning shaded region dari, kaning gray, bounded by this curve, these two vertical lines, and the x-axis, if we will solve that one, that will be 14 square units. So, in ana ang application niya. So, next, example 2. So, for example 2, we are asked to find the area of the plane region bounded above by y equals to 1 minus the absolute value of x minus 1 and below the x-axis. So, mo ni ang given. If we try to graph that one, ingani na gitsura. Again, sa graphing, dili na kaayo ko mo elaborate o discuss kay humanatana sa GenMath. Actually, kung graphing, you may use katong table of values gani. X, Y. So, buhat kag mga table of values, mga number dere, substitute nimo dere. Then, mag-graph na nimo ni. So, assuming na graph na, ingana na siya gitsura. So, kung tanaw na to, natay graph pasaka, na po siya pababa. So, we can divide that one into 2. Actually, kaning pasaka, ang equation niya is y equals to x. While kaning pababa, ang equation niya is y equals to 2 minus x. So, how come na ingana? What if wala tayo graph? Kumbaga, if you can recall, before that. So, ang main point na to is kailangan na to i-solve ang area. Area sa whole region. Kanitanan. Area aning dako nga triangle. So, to solve for the area, na-divide siya into 2. Area sa region 1 o area sa region 2. So, to solve for the area of the whole region, i-add lang nimo ang duha ka areas. Then, to solve for the area sa first region, kani, using, kana. And ang second, kani po, using kanina equation. Ang question, yun sa ni pag-come up ni kanina mga equation. If you can recall, kato-ato ang discussion, basta na absolute value, di ba unsay ginabuhat? Basta natay function nga naay absolute value, ato sang imuhon siya ang piecewise function. So by that becomes 1 minus the absolute value of, positive ta. 1 minus x minus 1 if x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0. While ang isa, 1 minus negative x plus 1. Ma-change sign tanan ang naa sa sulod sa absolute value. If x is x minus 1, kani asa nigikan si x minus 1 is katong unsay naa sa sulod sa absolute value. Kung ganina greater than equals to 0, kani less than 0. Then, we simplify further. This becomes, unsaon man ni 1 minus, i-distribute na to si minus. So negative I mean. So that will become 1 minus x, ma-plus 1 na siya. So that's 1 minus x plus 1. So kana 1 minus x plus 1. So that will be, pila ng 1 minus x plus 1, that will become 2 minus x. And that is if x is greater than or equal to 1. Kung sa'yo nahitabuan ni, gibalhin lang ni si 1 dere dito. While kaning sa baba, kung simplify na to, distribute na to si negative, that will become 1 plus x. Distribute pa si negative, ma-minus 1. Which is ma-cancel si 1 minus 1. Ma-eliminate si 1 minus 1. So, x na lang dere. And this is if x is less than 1. Again, yun sa because the transfer lang ni dere by virtue of the addition property of equality. So, yun. So, mo na ni ang tong simplified function, piecewise function. So, since duha ato ang kuan from 0 to 1, from 0 to 1, x atong gamiton because ang 0 to 1 is less than 1 man na. Then from 1 to 2, since greater than 1 na sila, 2 minus x pod atong gigamit. So diha na gikuha, gyud sa ni pagkuha. Again, gisimplify ang ato ang piecewise function sa absolute value. So I hope naka-follow. So yun, okay na ta diri nga part. I hope na-connect na ninyo. I-reason na nako ni. So, since na natay integrals, we can now simplify the integrals or solve the integrals using the fundamental theorem of calculus. So, integrating x becomes x squared over 2, limits from 0 to 1, plus integrating 2 minus x, that becomes 2x of x squared over 2. Again, this time limits from 1 to 2. Then, applying again, substituting the upper limit, monang na 1 squared, then lower limit, monang na 0 squared. So, nun sa pikas na pod, 2x man. So, substituting 2 ang upper limit, monang na 2 times 2, minus, diha po, 2 squared over 2. After si 2, si 1 na po din substitute. So 2x, so meaning 2 times 1, then 1 squared, meaning 1 squared over 2. So, na-evaluate na to. We just need to simplify. Simplifying this one will give us an answer of 1 square unit. So, kana 1/2 minus kani 0 na plus 4 minus 4 over 2, 2 na minus 2 pero ma-plus 1/2. Tama na ba? Ayun, dari di ay. So 1/2 kani 0 ni plus 4 minus 2 ni minus 2 tapos plus 1/2. So kaning 4 ma-cancel, ma-eliminate kay negative 4 na negative 2 negative 2. Tapos 1/2 ug 1/2 na lang. Ayun. Kadto ganina nga mga examples, mga figure to nga regular ang yang shape. Ang question karon, kani man gud nga mga example actually ma-solve ra ni using geometric formula. So meaning no need na actually magamiton si definite integral ani nga mga problem. But si definite integral gamit kaayo pag once ang mga shape na irregular like this one. So what if ingana ang itsura sa graph pod? Dili siya regular ang shape. So we now generalize the problem from finding the area of the region bounded by above by a curve and below by an x-axis to finding area of a plane region bounded by several curves such as the one shown below. Meaning, ang ganina, ang atong ginakuan is bounded by x-axis siya. Then isa lang ka curve or isa lang ka equation. What if duha na, dili na siya bounded by the x-axis, bounded by two curves na siya. So, unsaon pod siya pag-solve sa area. So, in solving for the area, we will consider the height or the distance between two curves between two curves at x, and that is h. H is solved as the y coordinate of the upper curve minus the y coordinate of the lower curve. Now, if y equals to f of x is the upper curve and y equals to g of x is the lower curve, then ang HD mo is simply f of x minus g of x. Basically, again, the upper curve minus the lower curve. So, kana ang ato ang bagong function. So, to solve the area between two curves, in general, we will use this one. So, area of the curve is the integral of the quantity of x minus g of x dx from A to B. This is the general formula to solve area between two curves. Kaya kung bounded by the x-axis siya, so ang lower curve nimo actually o kanang g of x nimo will be 0. So kung 0 ni, mobalik ra gyapon ka sa integral of f of x dx. So what if dili 0, so mag-minus ka g of x diha. So again, kana ang formula nga gamiton. So example ta. Find the area of the plane region bounded by the curves y equals to x squared minus 2 and y equals to x. Sa kaninga part, medyo challenging lang ni kay nanatay mga previous na skill nga dapat i-gamiton kumbaga. So if we will try to graph this curve y equals to x squared minus 2, ingani ang itsura. Recall tong how to sketch a graph of katong mga conic section gani. Kay if you can see ang given nato naka-squared, isa ray naka-squared. So di ba kabalo naman ta sa una pa na pag isa ray naka-squared, kabalo ta nga parabola na siya. Then ang question to sketch the parabola, ang pinaka-importante dia i-determine is atong vertex. So by this time, kani nga itsura, maklaro na nimo ang unsa ang vertex nato. That is, di ba ginaon sa man to nato sa una, basta kuan. Di ba gina-isolate tong naka-squared? So this will become y minus 2 equals to x squared. So from this one, ingani nga itsura, ma-determine na nato ang vertex is sa x, wala man siya kauban, so that's 0. Ang y nato, that's 2. You can still remember ang parabola. So therefore, vertex nato is 0, 2. So mo nang, 0, by the way, negative man day ni siya dali no, pag transfer using addition property of equality, ma-plus na siya. So kung plus na siya diha, may negative ato ang y coordinates. Therefore, atong vertex is 0, negative 2. Mo na, diri siya nagsugod. Then, kabaluta, since positive atong x squared diri, opening upwards siya. So, kabalotang nga opening upward siya. So, kaana siya. But, okay, na kabalotang nga ana itsura. So, meaning kung sketch na to na kabalotang nga negative 2, diha, tapos pasaka. So, pwede na to sketch as nga na. Next is kanipod, y equals to x. So, ang y equals to x, pwede ra ka maggamit, since linear man na siya, pwede ra ka maggamit og 2 points. X equals y. So, pwede ka let's say, gamit ang negative. So, negative 1 po na siya diha. Kani 1 po na. So, pwede ka negative 1, point diha. Positive 1, point diha. Then, ano. So, mas-sketch na nimo karon si graph na to. Mao man ang pinaka main point karon. Ang importante, mas-sketch nimo si graph. Ang point po, aside from that nga ma-sketch nimo, dapat po ma-determine nimo si intersection point. Kana. So, nakuha na nimo sa vertex, nakuha na nimo pagkangapasakan, nakuha na nimo ni. Ang question karon unsaon pag-identify ang intersection points diya. Kaya kung mag-sketch lang ka, dili man gud na diretso ma-identify. So, you should identify that one using algebra, kumbaga. If you can recall the systems of equation, so, di ba duha atong kuan? Duha ka equation na to, ha? Para makabalo ka sa intersection points, you solve the two equations, equation 1 and equation 2, simultaneously. Either you do substitution method or elimination method. Grade 8 man ninyo ni nakuan na skill. So, i-recall to ninyo. So, ang gibuhat niya dere is nagamit siya substitution. So, ang equation 1, di ba, kaniman si equation 1, y equals to x squared minus 2. Gipulihan niya, by substitution, gipulihan niya si y ug kani. Nag-start siya kang equation 1, then gigamit niya si equation 2, gipulihan niya si y using the equation 2. So, mao tong naingana na siya. So, I hope naka-follow. So, by substitution, you start with equation y nga x equals to, y equals to x squared minus 2. Then by substitution, gipulihan ni og x because again, y equals to x. So, equal naman na sila. Then after, gibalhin ni siya diri sa pikas. By applying addition property of equality, so mao tong na x squared, positive man siya, mao nang negative. Tapos, negative 2. Then, quadratic man eh. Apply na siya karon og factoring method. So, by factoring, kani iyang factor. So, we can now solve for the x coordinate sa ato ang intersection. Yun sa mani, isa-isa lang, kumbaga, applying katong addition, zero property of equality. So, x minus 2 equals to 0, ang isa, x plus 1 equals to 0. Then, kaning negative 2, gibalin sa pikas, mo ng x equals to 2. While kani, balin sa pikas, mo ng x equals to negative 1. So, therefore, we have 2 and negative 1 as your x coordinates of our intersection points. So, kung nanatay x, kailangan nato pangitaon ang coordinates, y coordinates this time. So, since nanatay x, we can use any of these two equation para ma-solve po si y. So, preferably, dirita kang equation 2 kay mas dali. So, kung x nimo is 2, based sa equation 2 nga, y ug x equal ra, so therefore, kung x nimo is 2, y pod nimo is 2. So, kung x nimo is negative 1, y pod nimo negative 1. Again, by virtue of your second equation na y equals to x. So, this is now your intersection points. So, dapat pag sketch nimo sa graph, dapat ni-intersect siya, kaniday. Paana day. Ang pairing niya. So dapat ni-intersect siya sa 2, 2, mo ni, o sa negative 1, negative 1. So, mo nang ingani ang itsura sa iyang graph. So, again, di-sketch nimo, gikuha nimo si vertex. Then kabalo ka opening upward, tapos gi-sketch nimo ning line, then gipangita nimo intersection point. So dapat pag sketch nimo maigo na sila diha. Na kay kuan. So unsay gamit, unsay importance nganong kailangan sa sketch because we will be using kani nga equation which is kailangan nato i-determine ang upper function o ang lower function. Kay kung given lang manggod kanilang manggod dili nato ma-determine kung kinsay upper function o lower function. So using ang atoang sketch, so kabalutang ang upper function kaning line which is ang equation niya kana. So ang lower function na ara. Kumbaga kung magbuhat tag rectangle diri ba, strip of rectangle. Ang upper function, ang upper rectangle nimo ni touch siya sa kaning nga function y equals to x. While ang lower kaning sa parabola which is kana man yung equation. So pabalo na ka sa upper function ug lower function, aside from that kailangan po nimo i-determine ang limit. So mao tong importante pod ma-determine ato ang intersection point kay ang limit nato from here to here lang man. So, kailangan nato ang x coordinate sa imong intersection point. So, kana o kana. So, mo na nakaroon ang mo kompleto sa imong integrals nimo. So, ang upper limit nimo again is katong sa y equals to x. So, mo nang x ni. While ang lower limit nimo is katong sa parabola nga y equals to x squared minus 2. Mo nang naa. So take note, minus ni always dire. And then ang limit nato from negative 1 to 2, asa na gikan again katong x coordinates sa ato ang intersection points. Okay. So mo nang naingana na imong integral. So na set up na atong integral. Solve na lang nato. So by using the fundamental theorem of calculus, first we will solve for the antiderivative ani. Mao man ang antiderivative niya. Kaning x squared, kani pong x cubed over 3. Kaning negative 2, nahimo na siya 2x. Ang question nganong positive man na sir? Actually gi-distribute na sa negative. So negative x squared na dapat, positive 2 na. Kumana na positive 2x. And then, we will be evaluating this antiderivative from negative 1 to 2. So, we start with the upper limit. So, substitute tag 2 diha. So, muna na x squared, 2x, 2 squared over 2. Sunod, substitute diha. No, na 2 cube. Sunod, substitute diha. Muna. And then, after ma-substitute, si negative 1 na pod. So, negative 1 squared. Take note of this, dapat nakakulong ni si parenthesis ni dire. So, dapat nakakulong na ha. And then next, negative 1 cube, pareha na ba? Nakakulong. And si 2 na times negative 1. So, after substituting, we simplify. So, 2 squared, that's 4 divided by 2, mo ng 2. Kani, 2 cube, 8 over 3. 2 raised to 4, at 2 times 2 is 4. Kani, negative 1 squared. So, negative, tapos even, kaya nahimo positive. Negative, tapos add man. So, mo nang negative ni dire. Then, negative 2. Then, lastly, you just have to simplify para ma-come up ang final answer. So, to simplify that one, that is 2 minus 8 over 3 plus 4. Tapos, distribute ni mo si negative. Negative 1 half. Kani ma-positive naman minus negative, so ma-positive ni. Pero pag distribute nato kay negative, mo negative siya balik. Negative 1/3, tapos negative times negative, ma-positive 2. So yun, naanatay. Sama na we have 2, 6, og 2 plus 4, plus 2. So, this is 8. Kaning negative 8 over 3, negative 8, negative 1, that is negative 9 over 3. Tapos napatay 1/2. Which is negative 9/3, that's 3. Minus 1/2. 8 minus 3, that is 5 minus 1/2. Then, applying the cross multiplication, cross mile method, so we have 10 minus 1/2. Motong nahimo siya 9 halves square units. So, in ato pag-apply, o in ato pag-solve og definite integral, pag once, wala na siya sa, dili na siya bounded by x-axis. Instead, bounded siya by another curve. So, another example ta. So, example 4. Find the area of the plane region bounded by the curves y equals to x squared, x equals to negative 1, x squared, x equals to 2, and y equals to negative 1. Okay. Again, ang first step nimo is you have to sketch the graph. So, sketching the given graph, first, we sketch this one. So, by this, sa kaninga given, kabalutang nga this is parabola because isa lang ang naka-squared. And this is parabola whose vertex is at 0, 0. So, muna natay vertex diya. And then, since positive siya, opening upward. So, muna pasaka ta. Okay, next. Aside from that, kani, x equals to negative 1, we just have to plot kani, dere, then drop a vertical line. Kaning x equals to 2, at 2 ka sa 2, and drop a vertical line. And kaning y equals to negative 1, at 2 ka kay negative 1 sa y naman ta, ganina x man to. So kani y, and ganina vertical line, kung y, horizontal line, kana. So ang, mana na itsura, pero ang question karon, asa sila kung sa intersection point, ana. So, kana ang importante. Dapat tama imong intersection point. Yun sa pagkabalo nga kana o kana. Sige. To determine this intersection point, kailangan nato i-solve using kani nga graph o kani. Meaning, kaning parabola o kani nga graph. Kung saan nga graph, di ba kani? So, maning equation 1 na to, manang equation 2. So, again, we can use substitution. We start with equation 1 nga x squared, then substitute ta ani. So, at x equals to negative 1, so y na to is 1. So, kung nanatay y, solve na po natin. I mean, no need na i-solve si x, kay na naman si x, which is negative 1. So, mo nang ti ato ang intersection point. Mo nang na ay negative 1, 1. Next, dire. Kung saan pag-determine sa intersection point dire? Kani nga graph, kani nga line, which is mao ni ang yang equation, ug kaning parabola. Mao man ang duha nga nag-abot. So, this time, ang atong equation 1, there is na nako ha. This will now be our equation 1, pero equation 2 na to, kani. So we start with equation 1, y equals to x squared. Then, using equation 2, we substitute 2. So we have y equals to 4. And our x is actually 2, given naman. So natay intersection point na 2, 4. O nang na 2, 4 diya. So ngano, so nakuha na nato ang sketch graph plus the intersection points. Sa dire, klaro naman ang intersection points dire. Kung dire po, no need na i-solve kay ang dire is negative 1 man na. Tapos dire po is positive 1. Negative 1 po di ay. So kani, walay problema sa intersection points kung mga line lang ang nag-intersect. Kaya kana 2 og negative 1. Ang problema lang yun is kung dili line ang nag-intersect. Or, kung why problema kung vertical line o horizontal line lang ang nag-intersect, dali ka i-determine. Pero kung dili horizontal o vertical line, kailangan yun ka mag-elimination or substitution. So, okay na. We're done with the intersection points o sketch sa graph. So from that, we can now determine our upper limit. Ang upper limit day nato, sorry. Ang upper curve nato is ang kaning parabola, which is kani. So mao day ni atong f of x. Then ang atong lower kani, which is mao na to ang g of x. And then atong limit from left to right. So meaning gikan man diri. So kaning negative 1 to 2. From left to right man ta. Diri. Dali lang. So again, mao to'y buhaton, sketch the graph to determine unsa ang upper limit, unsa ang upper function, unsa ang lower function. And then at the same time, to determine unsa ang lower limit o ang upper limit. Since determined na siya, we can now use the formula. Kani nga formula. So substituting ang atong upper limit, again, ang atong upper limit, atong f of x na to is katong sa parabola nga x squared. Ang g of x na to is katong atong f of x is katong y equals to x squared. Atong g of x is mao tong y equals to 1. So mao to f of x ipulihan niya x squared. Kana ang g of x ipulihan nag 1. By the way, negative 1 ni siya. Check na to ha. Nara. Y equals to negative 1. So, matong na plus na ni siya. So, this is x squared actually minus negative 1. So, x squared minus negative 1, mao ng x squared plus 1. Okay. So, since na natin integral, we will now solve using fundamental theorem of calculus. So, this one is x cubed. Antiderivative of x squared is x cubed over 3. Antiderivative of 1 is x. And then we will evaluate that one from negative 1 to 2. Then, asa na si negative 1 to 2? Balik ta sa atong x coordinate sa atong intersection. Negative 1 ug 2. So, yun. Then, substitute. Si 2 una, manang 2 cube over 3. Sunod, substitute si 2. After, si negative 1 na pod. So, negative 1, dapat actually nakakulong ni. And then, plus x man na. So, actually, that is plus negative 1. Then, simplifying, this is 8 over 3. Ug 2, kaning negative 1, since negative na cube, add ang exponent, so negative 1/3 yapon. Minus 1. So, to simplify actually kana, akong ginabuhat, 8 over 3, may distribute na ko sa negative ma-plus na siya. Gipares na ko si 1/3. Pareha sila over 3. Tapos karon si 2 na pod plus 2, distribute na to sa negative, ma-plus 1. So 8/3 plus 1/3 mo na mo 9/3 plus 3 kay 2 plus 1. 9/3 is 3 plus 3 mo tong 6. So therefore ang area ani is 6 square units, tama? 6 square units. So, ingana mag-solve og area pag irregular atong shape. We will now use, kay kung geometry lang atong saligan, lisod man ni solbon kay pareha na, curve man na, lisod na solbon. Wala po tayo formula. Wala tayo formula sa area sa triangle, sa square, sa rectangle, but area para sa curve wala man. So, ingana, ang mauna, diha na magamit si definite integral. So that's one of the application. So yun, that's example 4. Another one is what if this time ingani atong itsura sa graph. Kung tan-aw na to, kung diri ta magbuhat og strip nga rectangle, ang atong upper function is kaning parabola, which is kana. Atong lower function gyapon same ang parabola gyapon siya, sa parabola gyapon siya ni touch. So meaning pag i-minus nato na ma-zero. So pag ingani gitsura basta gani ang upper function o ang lower function parihara dili preferable tong unang unang equation o unang formula. Ang gamiton is kanipod. This time, the right curve minus left curve. And then, again, right, kung ganina, upper curve minus lower curve atong i-minus, this time, right curve minus left curve. Tapos, this time, in terms of y na po siya. So, therefore, atong limit, in terms of y po dapat. So, meaning, ang gamit na ito ng limits this time is y coordinates sa ato ang intersection points. So, let's have an example. Okay, example 5. Set up a definite integral for the area of the region bounded by the parabola. So, kani, and the line y equals to x. So, again, ang first muhaton is you try to sketch. Ang given is x is equals to y squared minus 2. So, isolate natin itong na y squared. So, that is x plus 2 equals to y squared. So, therefore, we can determine our vertex as ang x nato is negative 2, ang y nato wala may kauban, so that's 0. So, muna natay vertex na negative 2, 0. Okay. And then, since positive siya, tapos y ang naka-squared, kanina x man ang naka-squared, so opening upward. Kani y ang naka-squared, so it's either opening left or opening right. Since positive man ta, so therefore opening right ta. So mao nang padulong siya dito. Tapos naabotay line nga y equals to x. So dali raman pag-graph sa line y equals to x. So, buhat lang kag table of values. So let's say we have negative 1 po, positive 1, positive 1. So 1, 1, dere, negative 1, dere, tapos i-connect na lang na nimo. So, nana kay sketch sa graph. Ang problema na lang jud karon is kaning intersection points. Dapat clear ka unsa ng intersection points diya. Again, to solve for the intersection points, imo ning i-solve simultaneously. Katong nagsugat, which is kani, mamaning equation niya, o kung kaning isa, kani po ang equation. So, para may bala na to, substitution ta. So, this is our equation 1, this is our equation 2. Using equation sa equation 1. Second equation, x equals to y squared minus 2. Tapos by substitution, ang x, pulihan na itong y. Kaya pariha raman siya. Using equation 1, y equals to y squared minus 2. Tapos, balin sa pikas, that becomes 0 equals to y squared minus y minus 2. Then, apply tawag factoring. Y, copy si minus, dapat different sign kay minus ni dire. Factors nito nga pag i-minus nimo ma 1, that's 2 and 1. Okay, then, applying the zero product property, we have y minus 2 equals to 0, 1 plus 1 equals to 0. Therefore, y equals to 2 ug y equals to negative 1. Then, using equation 1, since equal sila, therefore, at y equals to 2, x pod equals to 2. At y equals to negative 1, x pod is negative 1. So, mao ni atong mga intersection points. Kaya naana sila diha. So, since kabalo na ta sa intersection points, na sketch na nato, but ang problema man god, kung magamit tag rectangle nga pa-vertical, ang upper nato function ug lower function ni nato this part pareha. So, buhaton nato instead na magamit ta og pa-horizontal. Meaning, again, pa-horizontal, right function minus left function. So ang right function na to is kaning line, which is ang equation niya kana. Ang left function na to is katong sa parabola, which is again ang equation niya kana. Then this time ato ang limit nga gamiton is ang y coordinates. So kaning -1 ug 2. So we can now set up an integral nga area of the shaded region is equivalent to the integral of, we will use katong sa ganitong gamit niya, v sub y. So we have v sub y minus kung isa, u sub y. So we have u sub y tapos dy limits from c to d. C to d. Ano yung function? So substitution, we substitute v sub y. V sub y again is our left function. So kani. But this time in terms of y. So y atong isulat, dili ang x. Minus ang u sub y is the left function kani. So kani atong isulat. Minus y squared minus 2. Again, because in terms of y, because naka dy ta. And then atong limit is ang y coordinates from lower to upper ta. So meaning from -1 to 2. So if we try to simplify that one, that should be integral of, distribute na lang nimo si negative. So that is y minus y squared tapos ma-plus 2 na. Plus 2, sorry, it should be 2. dy from -1 to 2. So this is now your definite integral. So ang question lang man niya is kailangan amin ang pabuhat lang sa to is mag-set up lang man daw tag definite integral. So human na ta. Wala naman tayo pa-solve. So ingana pag-solve, ingana mag-set up og integral pag once dili applicable tong upper function minus lower function. Again, dili applicable si upper function or applicable man siya pero lisod, complicated. Kung ang upper function nimo o lower function nimo the same or di kaya lahi the same sila or maglahi-lahi pod. So pasabot na ako sa maglahi-lahi. Say for example dirita upper function nato ni touch sa parabola. Pag-abot diri, parabola gihapon. So, same. Or kung dirita magbuhat po og rectangle, upper function nato kani, lower function nato kani, okay, unta. Pero hantod diri ra siya kutob. Okay. Pag-abot niya diri, malahi naman po siya. So, dili pareha. Unlike kung pa-horizontal ta, masking asa ka, kung diri, right function na to is ang line, left function na to ang parabola. Maski pag moabot ka dire, right function gyapon na to si line, left function gyapon na to si parabola. So, tingnan ang difference na to. Kung kanasa ta magamit ang katubang upper curve minus lower curve or ang right curve minus left curve. So, I think this is the last example. Using the second katong right curve minus left curve. So example, set up an integral of the area of the region bounded by the curves x equals to -y squared plus 2 and x equals to y squared minus 2. So kana. Again, kailangan na to i-sketch. Kung saan pag-sketch, kani i-isolate na to itong naka-squared. So that becomes x, bali na to ni, minus 2 equals to -y squared. So therefore, ang ato ang vertex ani is 2, 0. So kanina siya. since y ang naka-squared, it's either opening left or right. And then since negative ni dere, oning opening left siya. Onang pasabot ya na opening left na siya. So kani pong isa, kani same ra gyapon ang buhaton. Isolate si naka-squared, so balhin nato si 2x plus 2 equals to y squared. And then ang vertex nato this time is negative 2, 0. So mo nang naara. Then since y squared man so meaning opening left or right, positive man siya, so opening right. So mo nang kana. So mo nang naingana ang itsura. So ang point ani kung magamit ta og vertical line, vertical method katong upper curve minus lower curve, walay problema. Ang problematic jud siya actually kay pag abot dire, ang na-touch niya is kani nga parabola. Sa baba pod kana pod nga parabola. So ma-minus siya mo 0. So dili siya advisable katong vertical. Advisable si horizontal. Kay nga naman kung horizontal ka, ang sa dire ang na-touch niya is kani nga curve. Ang pikas lahi pod nga curve. So pa-horizontal ta. So kung pa-horizontal ta, kailangan nato ang kabalo naman ta sa right curve nato, which is asa ganing right curve kani. Ang left curve nato kanipod. So kani si, then right curve ni mo ni si b sub y nato. Right curve nato ano? Right curve b sub y. Ang kaning left curve nato mo ni si u sub y. So ang kulang na lang nato this time is ang limit. Dapat ang limit is ang coordinate, y coordinate sa intersection points. Kanang naa diha. Ang pangutana unsay coordinates ana karon? So we need to solve for the y coordinates sa. So solving for the y coordinates, let me see kung naa ba ni. Okay, gamit siya og substitution. Nag-start siya actually, diba equation 1 ni, equation 2. Ang gigamit niya sa equation 2 kani. Nag-start siya actually kang equation 2 nga x equals to y squared minus 2. Tapos, by substitution, gipulihan niya ang x using ani. Equation 2 man siya, no? Gipuli niya, gigamit niya sa equation 1 para mag-substitute ka dire. Then, balhin na siya, gipambalhin na ni tanan. So, kaning negative y squared, ma-positive y squared na, mo na 2y squared. And then, kani, again, kana, ang positive 2, ma-negative 2 na pod. Negative 2 plus y squared man na. So, maning y squared plus y squared, 2y squared, negative 2 manang negative 4. Then, factor out si negative, si 2. So, maning na ingani. And then, after is, gigamit niya si difference of two squares. So, that's y minus square root of 2 o y plus square root of 2. And then after, after ana, divide both sides by 2. Pwede ta mag-divide both sides of 2 kay para makancel ni si 2. So, meaning kana na lang. So, y minus square root of 2 equals to 0 o y equals to y plus square root of 2 equals to 0. So, therefore, y equals to square root of 2. Ang isa, y equals to negative square root of 2. Actually, kung limit lang atong storyahan, no need na ta, no need na nato pangitaon si x. Dire. Kay kanilang man gid atong concern. So, since nakabalo na ta sa y coordinates atong limit, pwede na ta mo diretso dito sa equation. Na kani. So, again, this is our right limit, y squared minus 2. Asa man na? So, by the way, naraday, baliktad ito ganina. Sorry let me correct. Mauday ni kani, this is, sorry. Ug kani. So atong right limit, y squared minus 2. Check down na to. Y squared minus 2. Mo ba ni? Right limit is kani. Ang kani again, this is x plus 2 equals to y squared. Left ni. Right limit is kani. Nabaliktad ning book. Anyway, sige daw. So, muna, substitute lang niya. Y squared minus 2, negative y squared plus 2. Asa na gikan kanina? Kani, y squared plus 2 o y squared. Tama lagi. This is our left limit. Kani. Ang right limit na to ni. Kani ang right limit dapat actually. Kana dapat. So, nabaliktad yun ata ni sa libro. And then, simplifying, this will become, so y squared plus y squared. So that's 2y squared. Tapos, 2, negative 2, kani-distribute po ni negative 4. Again, ang limit na to is from negative 2 to 2. Patotong resolve na nila. So, yun. But I think there's some, by the way, ang point naman ganyan is, paano? Integral. So, nabaliktad ni Dere, actually. So, dapat ani, this should be integral of negative y squared plus 2. Ngano? Because kaniman atong right curve kay opening left man siya. So baliktad ni. So correct na lang nato ha. Sige. Dapat ang kani should be integral of, dapat unahon na, negative y squared plus 2 minus ang right curve mo ng y squared minus 2. Tapos, kulong nato ni dy from negative 2 to, negative square root of 2 to square root of 2. And finally, ang diri dapat should be integral of negative, tapos negative po ni, dapat negative 2y squared, tapos plus 4 dy limits from negative square root of 2 to square root of 2. So, ingani dapat. Okay, again, ang left limit na to, right curve na to, kana dapat, minus the left curve. Okay, kung atong basihan, kaniman atong right curve kay opening siya kana. Mamaning right curve na to. Mao ni atong left curve kani. So yun. So ingani dapat ang kuan. Kani something wrong. So ingani dapat ang answer. So that's how to solve definite integrals. So I'm done for calculus. That's all about topic 18.1, areas of plane regions using definite integrals. Thank you and see you next session.